Okay, I think this is working. Yay. So I am, for the first time, going live on my computer instead of my phone. So it was a bit of a learning curve. Hey, Angela. And I've been trying to go live on my computer for a long time. Hi, Sri. And I've never been able to. This is a different experience. So normally when I'm live on my phone, the chat is like rolling up on the phone. Here it's like on a separate panel. Hey, Eli. Hey, Erica. Anadit's here. Race is here. Nia's here. Sakib. Did I say that right? Derry. Eleanor. It's Jay. Hey, Jay. Amber's here. Lauren's here. Sorry I'm a few minutes late. I was trying to set this up on my computer, and I've had a lot of trouble in the past going live on my computer. Elaine is here. Is it Rajasi? Rajasi? Something. Derek's here. Hi, everyone. Orly's here. Good morning. So now that hi Colin, I'm live on my computer instead of my phone. So I don't have to worry about the do not disturb. So some of you guys who tried to attend my webinar in November saw that I couldn't get on live on my computer. And I tried a few times since then. Oh, okay. Brittany's headed to ER. She won't be with us right now, but she wants us to say a prayer for her. She cut her finger really bad. Okay, we will do that. Hey, Shanty. Is it Shanty or Shantae? You'll have to let me know. Because I know there's different spellings. Hey, Fuzzy Norris. So we're here in my office on a Sunday morning. Okay, so Shaniti. Even can you put it phonically instead of separating the letters? Because I still, even if you separate the letters, I don't know. I'm terrible. I'm sorry. I'm terrible at saying names. But I'm glad you're here, even if I butcher your name. Hey, Rainy. Or is it Ronnie? Ronnie? See, I don't know. There's so many choices. Meeting you after so many days. I had exams and then spent the holidays without social media. Was that a choice? Did you do that on purpose? Or was your internet down? Braun, if you go to Dhar Mann's YouTube page, I think he's got a banner up that has like a yellow banner that says no videos in June or January, no videos till February. Oh, Frank is here. Oh, a car accident. The roads were sheets of ice. Oh my gosh, I'm so glad you're okay. I hope your car isn't trashed. Do it in the one go shanty. I don't know. Okay. My goodness. Yeah, icy. Elena says it's icy in Scotland too. Okay, Nick Hill is using Paradise Earth. Danny is here. I remember having to drive on that black ice in Minnesota. Not fun. Tell me again where you live, Frank. Obviously, it's somewhere cold. I don't know. Is it Pennsylvania? Did I remember that right? That would be a miracle if I remembered that right. It's a new year and a new day. That's right, Ali. I said it correct? Oh, I don't know which version was correct. I said it so many different times, so many different ways. At least one of the times was correct. It's a new year, but it's the same me. Okay, let's talk about that. Is that a good thing? What is the same about you? We should be evolving and changing every day, right? Over here it's Sunday evening. Is it Chalk Studios? See, it could be Shauki Studios. See, I'm terrible. Terrible with names. We've got Ibeck here. Brittany is here. We were just talking about you in the emergency room. Are you just like waiting to get your fingers sewed up? What's going on? We haven't said a prayer for you yet. Fill us in on what's going on. Pronunciation is like Rani. See, I just still don't know. Okay. Okay, there's another Frank on here. Have you been to London? No, I have not been to London, but I think there might be someone else from London on here. I have a new client from UK. Hey, Brittany, told her, glad you're here. My brother slipped on the ice the other day, just a few bruises, but can't stop laughing. You know, it gets to be really detrimental when you get old, living in those ice. I can see why all the old people like retire to Florida and places it doesn't snow, because man, you get old and your bones are like brittle. One fall on the ice, you could break your hip and be bad news, go downhill from there. Is it because some actor tested positive for COVID? Is that why Dhar Mann hasn't done any videos? No, I don't think so, because when I got COVID last April, they just kept shooting. I think they have to inform everyone when someone on set tests positive. But yeah, I think Dar's whole family got COVID. I thought I saw on his stories that they spent Christmas in the ER, and their little daughter, their little baby girl, couldn't breathe. Their first daughter, I think she couldn't breathe. I think Dar and Laura both had it, if I'm not mistaken. And I think they decided it would just be better and safer just to let's just stop productions for January. Let's take January off, make sure we're safe with COVID measures. And now when I go back to work, when I start shooting again, I do have a shoot next week because they're going to start shooting some stuff for February content. We have to do the COVID tests every day that we go. So I think that's how they're going to be safe, and they're going to do the rapid testing before we start shooting. So if anyone tests positive, they'll be sent home and replaced or whatever. So I think that's how they're getting around it. Okay. What did I miss? Braun wants to know my New Year's resolution. I had a New Year's resolution to be more organized. It's something I've been working on most of my adult life. And yeah, I've been organizing my office, and I had stacks and stacks and stacks and stacks of paper, piles everywhere. So whenever I needed to find something, I couldn't. So let me turn my computer and see if you can see this. So I got this filing system. I don't know if you can see it because I got a bunch of junk over there. But now I have everything in slots, so I know where everything is. So I don't have to look through piles and piles and piles of stuff when I need to find something. So that's already helping me. I have this big white file cabinet over here that needs to be organized, but I've got a set of file drawers that I've already gotten organized, and my to-do slots are already organized. So I'm almost there of getting organized with the physical office. I really have to get my hard drives organized. I have probably 8 of these 5 terabyte hard drives full of my life, my books, my videos, my courses, my everything. They need to all be organized. Like when someone wants a picture, I'm like, oh, I don't know if I can find a picture because everything's not labeled and put in folders and all that stuff. So I have a hard time. Like if you guys ever see any of my, if you've ever watched any of my not vlogs, what are they called when they interview you? Podcasts. I've put up some of my podcasts on here, but it takes a long time to find pictures to go with what I'm saying. So I haven't put one of those out in a long time, but I have several podcasts that I've done. I just haven't put them out for you guys because searching all my hard drives to find pictures is it takes days. It takes days, and I don't have that kind of time these days. Okay, so let's see. What have I missed in your guys's feedback? with you got COVID? I got it. I had it in April. And then 7 days later, I tested negative. It was gone. I think they closed it because they didn't want any actors getting sick. Yeah, and probably with Dhar being sick and his whole family being sick. Hey, Vias, he probably didn't have the strength to do all the writing, because he writes all those scripts. So I know when I had it, I wasn't thinking brilliantly. Maybe it was delusional. I did write one piece when I was quarantined in my room. It was incoherent, half sleepy ramblings, but maybe I'll turn it into something someday. It was about the devil and how the devil tries to get you and how he ropes you in. Maybe I'll write. Let's see what my ramblings are. I like the background and the red dress. So I'm in my office, my burgundy drapes. This is like a suit jacket it's kind of fuchsia, but you can't really tell in this lighting. I should turn some extra lights on. Okay, let me see if this helps. Let's see if this makes a difference. I'm not totally set up like I am in my studio. Is that better? Is that a little bit better? Okay. Look, I was just trying to make a smoothie. I was trying to clean the blade and I slipped and I sliced my thumb right open and I see the fatty tissue and all. Ouch. Okay, we're all going to say a prayer for Brittany right now. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for supernatural healing. Mend up her thumb, make it new like it's never been before. And I pray that you give the doctors wisdom on what to do and how to take care of it. In your name we pray. Amen. Okay. What is your expectation in 2022? What is my expectation? You know what? I'm expecting it to be my best year yet. Are you guys expecting it to be your best year yet? Because here's the thing. Don't go by what's happened in the past. Don't go by how we're still under restrictions. Don't go by, because here's the thing. What you expect, you usually get. So always believe the best. Always be thinking positive, because you're more likely to get what you expect. So even if it seems outlandish, even if it seems like it's never going to happen, believe for it. Because if you believe for it, you're a lot more likely to get that. But if you don't believe for it, you're definitely likely to get that. So let's see. Looking through these questions here. Cha, ha, u, ki. I tried to sound it out. I don't know if I did well. How come you're in a different room? Because I wanted to try to use my computer rather than my phone for the live stream. And my computer's hooked up in my office to 2 other hard drives you didn't even see. And I didn't want to try to unplug everything and move it to the other room because I was pressed for time. Okay, Blake missed us last week. Okay. No, I can't make it to urgent care quite yet. The weather is icky, so I'm piling on Band-Aids. Okay, and I would look, pressure, put pressure on it. Maybe you already are, holding it tight to kind of stop the bleeding. I would also hold it up. Keep your thumb held up and be putting pressure on it. Because if it's down, then the blood flow is going to go to it. So you're going to be in a perpetual okay, you should really start a podcast. I was going to last year with my friend who you guys are going to see, if all goes well, on the 23rd. I've never done this before, but she's going to be my special guest here on our YouTube on the 23rd. So you may have seen me post her song on Instagram, her song Victory. She is going to be my special guest on the 23rd, if I can figure out by then how to add a guest. Apparently you have to use some extra apps to go through YouTube to be able to add guests. And I eventually want to learn how to do slides so that when I do my next webinar, maybe in February, that I can have a slideshow go with it. Because I don't know who was on my webinar last time. I didn't have all the slides, so I just printed out some pictures. And when I talked about something, I just held up a printout of a picture. Not very professional, but I think it got the point across. Whoever was on my webinar would be like, I wasn't bothered by you holding up a picture because I didn't have time to figure out how to do a slideshow, PowerPoint, presentation, all that stuff. I was just so intent on teaching you some good content that like the technical stuff was like, I'll get to that another time. Plus, I wanted to do it in November because I know everybody's busy in December with craziness. Okay, so we've got Derek asked a question. Thank you for the gift, Derek. How did you recover from COVID? Lots of rest, lots of water, lots of vitamin C. Probably took some zinc. I don't know. I think it was just lots of rest and lots of liquids. I don't think I did anything special. I probably have a pretty decent immune system. So I don't think there's anything special I did, but you guys can look up natural cures and you can do stuff right now to kind of boost your immune system so that you don't get it, or if you do get it, you're not hit as bad. The things they're making you put in your arm twice, plus a third one that supposedly boosts you, they don't seem to be helping people because cases are on the rise, but the amount of people who've had that's it, they said we'd be okay once we got to 60% of the population having it, but some places there's been 70% and we're not okay, and people who've had it are still getting it. One of you guys on here is a school teacher and was letting me know that a lot of teachers are getting it, and they've all had it because they can't work at school unless they don't. So it doesn't seem to be preventing a lot of stuff, which is very sad because they had us all believing that was going to be the answer, but it doesn't seem to be. Blake says he's no longer contagious. Yes, put pressure and band-aids on it, Brittany. Oh, thank you, Blake. Brittany is tough, yes. Can you give us some advice on mental health? Well, it's a very wide topic. Do you have something specifically that you're struggling with? Yes, Danny. Yes, I knew Carl personally. We only hung out together once offset. There's only been 3 people that I've hung out with not on set, whom I met through there. Carl was one of them. He was a very kind man, very humble. Girl, I love your new office chair. It's very tall. It's got a headrest. My acting coach, he made me get like this tall chair, not just the one that ends. A lot of them end. A lot of office chairs stop like right here in your mid back. But so the door is like straight this way, and I'm kitty corner. He had me like do everything diagonally. He said, when people walk into your office, I want them to know you're like the head honcho, because I have another desk directly opposite here that my assistant sits in when she's here 3 days a week. So yes, I'm the queen bee. I had to have the tall throne. Okay, let's see. Do you know that the new variant called Omicron is from South Africa and spread? I didn't know where it was from. No, I don't look too much into it. The greater the storm, the brighter the rainbow. Interesting. I've never thought of it that way. Is that true, like scientifically? Is the worst storms, do they provide the biggest rainbows? I don't know. A lot of people in my school are getting COVID. I'm scared. Keep your immune system good, guys. Don't be eating a lot of candy and junk food. Your diet has a lot to do with how well you are too, and how well you're able to fight it off. I know some people don't think that your diet is related to your health, but it really is. And make sure you're eating a lot of fresh fruits and vegetables, a lot of foods with vitamin C, even better than the tablets. Like, did you guys know that red bell peppers actually have more vitamin C than oranges. So keep your diet fresh. Let's see. It's Sunday, full lockdown. I'm sorry. Um, okay, third wave variants. Do you miss filming Dhar Mann? Editing lakes. Sometimes I'm like, a few weeks go by and I'm like, oh, they haven't called me. um, but I'm so busy working on my online course, You Are Worthy, that I haven't had time to like come up for air. Like it was I had 3 videos due for lesson 7 on Friday, and I didn't even get those lessons uploaded till 2 hours before they were due. And I don't like this last minute stuff, but getting my editors to give me to be able to edit 3 videos a week. And these aren't just like the videos you see on YouTube. Anyone who's on here in my course will tell you these are like full blown productions on green screen and music and sound effects and stock video and footage and stories and sometimes even skits I've acted out and played all these characters. Like it's a full blown, it's a lot. So that's what I've been focused on. And I'm actually thinking, oh, next week, oh no, I'm supposed to be on set 3 days and I have 6 videos due next Friday. I'm like, I don't know how this is going to happen. So I've got lesson 8 due. And then I've also decided to put out the bonus course. Anyone who signed up by the 1 week deadline for the course got a free bonus course called The Divine Solution. And that's 5 teaching videos. So um, it's been a lot. It's been a lot of work because I'm having to go through everything and approve it and tell, look, change this, change this. It's like, it could be hours of me taking notes and approving and giving them feedback of what to change and stuff. Yes, Sam, I am married and I have 2 kids. I have a newly 14-year-old and a 3-year-old. Will you have Ayden on your podcast? Well, I don't even have a podcast. So I am not inviting anyone to the podcast I don't have right now. Let's see. You've got antibodies. Let's see. Okay, question for you. What do you like about Rebecca Ritz? I only met her that one time. You guys saw the behind the scenes? That's the only time I met her, and we didn't have any time to talk after that because we were she was on a different film shoot and I was on a different film shoot, but they have like 3 teams shooting now, so there's always 3 productions going. So we just maybe people will see each other pass in the hall. Unless you're on the same production, you don't see each other. And Rebecca was saying to me, she doesn't think we'll probably ever work on the same production because we're the same type. We both play the moms and the Karens. So, yeah. Okay, so, Elena's the junk food queen, but she says her meals are healthy. Okay, JF has a question for me. Well, put it in. Don't just tell me you have a question. Okay, here it is. How do I deal with the fact that I sometimes regret? I regret choices that came in my way, but I didn't accept them. Do you believe is worth it to change the tides and make some different choices? Okay, let me read this again to make sure I understand. How do I deal with the fact that I sometimes regrets of choices that came in my way, but I didn't accept them? I'm not sure what that question means. Do you believe it's worth to change? But I will answer the second question. It's always worth it to change the tides and make different choices. If the choices you made before you regret, it's always worth it to change. It's always worth it to improve, because why keep, Book of Proverbs says, as a dog returns to his vomit. And that's sometimes us. We make this terrible choice as I throw up. And then we keep going back to it. So that's why I like this visual, because if you've made barfy choices, don't keep going back there and like a dog would throw up and then eat his own vomit. we don't want to be in that pattern. We want to make better choices. So the bad choices aren't the ones to be repeated, they're the ones to learn from and get away from. Oh, Sarah's on. Oh my gosh. Have you ever been on one of my live streams before? Wow, I'm so surprised. My neighbor kids love Dhar Mann and watching you. They were utterly amazed and in disbelief that we've been friends since grade school. So, Sarah Waterbury, yeah, we've known each other since grade school. At one point, she was living out here in California and she was helping me out. She was like kind of kind of like a nanny for Timmy. For a little bit, for a few months. Yeah. So let's see. Hello, ma'am. Thank you for hearing my story a few weeks ago about when I was picked on. Oh, are things getting better for you, Colin? I hope so. Blake, yes, I met Gracie Marie. I met her at the Dhar Mann feature film Blue Carpet premiere. Thanks, Nurse Cat. Do you like video games? Danny, I really don't have time to play them with my family life and my goals. Okay, so the only drawback of filming in my office is you're gonna see people walking outside all the time because the front door is like right here. So people, does that bother you? Let me know if that bothers you, and maybe I'll move my computer to the uh, other room next time. Okay, why is Colin Borden always your husband? He's not always my husband. Sometimes he's other people's husbands, and sometimes uh, Johnny Avila is my husband. Actually, guys, I'm going to do a video on how many husbands I've had for Dhar Mann. You've seen me do the video on how many sons I've had, and I'm halfway through filming how many daughters I've had. So I might as well keep up with it and do how many husbands I've had. RV and Christine watching from the Philippines. This is my first time watching your live stream on YouTube, but I've messaged you several times on IG. Thank you for the replies. Blake says, I got an email with your book, but I can't read it and can't scroll up. Oh, I don't know why that is. Speaking of book, the topic for today is first things first. I'm going to read a little from my book, Poetic Prescriptions for Pesky Problems. This is my test version author copy. That's why it says not for sale on the top, because this was like the tester version. Okay, so first things first. Before. This is a short poem in this book called Before. What do you think is the best thing to do every morning when you get up before you do anything else? You guys all know what I'm going to say. Anyone who's been in my live stream, type in what I'm going to say. What's the best thing to do before you do anything else? Every day, no matter what. What's the best thing to do? I'm giving you 5 seconds to answer. Frank says drink water. Okay, I'll give you that. I'll give you that. Drink water. I will give you that one. Orly, ding, 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 ding. Orly got the answer correct. She is, what prize do we have for her, Johnny? Just a smile. That's all you get. Sorry. Brittany says have a smoothie. Spend time with God. Sarah's got it right. Yes. Pray. Yes. So, absolutely. So, but what do we normally do? Okay. Sometimes we start texting people. Sometimes we start looking on our social media. Sometimes we eat breakfast. We make coffee. We start doing our work, cleaning up, doing the dishes, whatever. I do dishes in the morning. I know a lot of people do them at night because they're like, I don't want to wake up to a mess. If I'm tired, I go to bed. I do them in the morning. So before I talk to mortal man, I need to talk to you. Before what's in the frying pan, your bread of life's consumed. Do you guys know that the scripture is called the bread of life? So before what's in the frying pan, before you have breakfast, your bread of life's consumed. Before my morning coffee hit, I'll drink the living water. It makes my lazy brain more fit and balanced without totter. Totter's like falling back and forth, like you're gonna fall off, like a teeter-totter, like you're going all over the place. That's what happens if you don't get the scriptures in your brain right away. And instead of coffee, before your morning coffee hit, drink the living water. So Frank's got the water part right. So I don't know if you guys know, in the New Testament, Jesus is called the living water. And he says, if you drink from me, you will never thirst again. Before I've got to start a task, my knees should hit the floor. There you go, Orly had it right. Make you my number one to ask and make no choice before. You don't make any choices about your life until you've talked to God first. Now, I have a friend, Tana Lee. She's lost like 40 pounds. And I was like, how did you do it? And she calls it like her Jesus diet. I was like, what the heck is that? She says, every day I get up and I ask God what he wants me to eat today. I was like, what? You ask him? She's like, yeah. Some days she was a confirmed sugar-aholic, desserts, candy, cupcakes, cookies. She was like constantly, and God helped her kick her sugar craving habit, her addiction to sweets. And every day she says, I ask him, what do you want me to eat today? And she says some days he'll say, no chips today. Some days he'll say no grains or no gluten today. Some days he'll say no meat today, just only like fruits and vegetables. And so she every day she just changes her diet based on what she feels like God is telling her to eat. I haven't gotten that far yet. I haven't done that yet. I just figure eating stuff from the Garden of Eden would be okay, right? Fruits and veggies, and right. Look at the Old Testament, what Daniel ate, right? Daniel ate vegetables and water, and his people were more strong and fit and better looking than the kings, whose people were eating like the king's delicacies and the wines and the meats and all that stuff. So there's something to be said about that. I don't know. You guys could try that. You could just every day say, God, what do you want me to eat? So that was see how short I kept that today. I sometimes teach for like 15 or 20 minutes. That was like 5 minutes. Okay, hope you had a good weekend, Cool Dude said. Colin says, be kind to each other. Absolutely. Katherine has never mentioned having animals. I used to have a cat when Timmy was young, but I didn't know Timmy's allergic to cats. And I think the cat got eaten by the coyotes. It was an indoor-outdoor cat. And we would have coyotes come down the hill into our neighborhood. And then one day our cat never came back. It was very sad. Sarah's telling, okay, Sarah, it's a bad idea that people know about you, because now they're going to be asking you personal questions about me growing up. Everyone just blank from your mind that she's my childhood friend. So Sarah's saying, cat grew up having a dog. I brought my dog and cats with me when I lived there. They had a cat that disappeared before I got there. That was 11 years ago. I don't know about now. I have no animals now. I was looking into getting Timothy a service dog, but they're so dang expensive. The best gift is waking up in the morning, Orally said. 40 pounds just by saying, God, what do you want me to eat today? Sounds pretty awesome. Who is a character in history who inspires you to this day? I wish I had read more about history. I don't know enough historical figures to answer that question, to be honest with you. I'm starting to get into reading memoirs about people that people have gone through, but what I really need to do is read biographies so I can learn about people's lives. I'm listening to a biography now about somebody, Samuel Johnson, I think is his name. I was looking for my phone so I could look it up. So I'm listening to this biography on this famous writer, Samuel Johnson, but it expired. I didn't get to finish it. It was like 40 hours long, and the guy doing the audiobook, he sounds very intelligent, but sometimes it's hard to listen to people when they sound very highbrow and talking on a subject that may not be very interesting for you. So they drone on and drone on, and sometimes they like to pontificate and draw their words out to give them a special meaning. And then it's hard to listen to because you're like, okay, get to the point. Let's hear the highlights. Did you have to write? Is this person? Do we need a 40-hour biography on some? Can I get the 2-hour version? So anyway, I didn't finish it. So I'm gonna have to do the standard answer of Jesus. Jesus is the number one historical guy that inspired me. Okay, where are we in this chat? Let me keep looking. Let me catch up to where you guys are. This is different on the phone. Angela sent me a gift. Thank you, Angela. Untold Stories About Katherine by Sarah Waterbury. Oh, quit spreading her name around. Sarah, you were sworn to secrecy. If anybody reaches out to you asking you anything about me, we'll just let them know about that non-disclosure agreement you signed. Danny, do you believe in having regrets? I don't believe in having regrets. There are things I've done that I regret, like more like, oh, I wish I hadn't done that. But carrying regrets around is not productive. It's actually pretty harmful and can stop you from going into your future. Hey, Emmy. So it can stop you from doing the things that you need to do now, and it weighs heavy on you. And you can't do anything about the past. You can't do anything about the regrets. So it does you no good to think about it, to dwell on it, to wish it was different. But what you can do is pick it apart and learn from it and say, what can I do differently next time? Or what should I have done? Or how can I make this so turn out differently so this doesn't happen again? So it's only helpful to think of your regrets if you're willing to learn from them and pull it apart and figure out what you can do differently. Now, if you have a regret and you haven't, if it involved people, you may want to go apologize to them. You may want to set things straight, make things right. And number one, ask God for forgiveness first. And then learn from it, and then do different. Don't carry it around. Okay. So, Elena, that's why I moved to another state in the U.S. I couldn't afford LA. True that. When Sarah was ready to move away from us, because we were moving to a new place, and I think they had a 2 or 3 pet limit, and Sarah had a menagerie of pets. Sarah had lots of pets. She wasn't willing to part with any of them or give some of her kitties to a new home. So we were even looking in trailer parks, and even trailer parks out here were, I don't know what they were, at least a couple thousand a month. And where Sarah lives now, she's got like 2 or 3 bedroom house for just a few hundred a month. It's night and day different than California. Okay, do you see the Dhar Mann video where a girl exposes her friend's fake bag at a Christmas party? Yes, I did see that one. I was confused for a second because I just read one of his scripts yesterday that has to do with a fake bag, but we haven't shot it yet. So I was like, how do they know about that one? But no, apparently there's more than one script about a fake bag. Apparently that's a thing. I've never had friends who cared about what label my bags were because I choose the right friends. Okay, things are better now. What advice would you give someone who's struggling? I think, have you asked this before? I don't have advice because I think you should reach out to people who've had the same struggles and who've been through it, Colin, and who've come out the other, pun intended, who've come out on the other side and are different, who are better, who've made the transition, who've done what you want to do. And I think on Google, you'll find tons of stories. Even on YouTube, you'll find tons of people who've gone through it and done it. Any time you guys are struggling with something and you don't really know what to do, I think looking up on the internet other people who've gone through it, because that will give you hope, and it will give you like Oh, here's what these people did. What worked for them? So let's see. Hi, Miss Pink Cat. I'm good. Where did Dhar Mann go? We talked about that a little bit ago. He's taking a break because the COVID has been, apparently, I've been hearing it's spreading. I don't know. Apparently, that's what certain news stations say is happening. Whether that can be confirmed with the numbers, I don't know. But that's the fear mongering that's being spread to keep everybody corralled and keep, for whatever reason, they're doing that. Keeping us in fear. Oh, I saw a funny meme. There was this woman, and she had a mask on, and she's talking to these Amish people, and um, these Amish people, they're not in masks. They're not doing any of these precaution things. And this woman is asking them, how come nobody in the Amish community is getting COVID? And the guy with the long beard answers her and says, because we don't watch the news. That's all I'm going to say about that. Okay. Shout out to Blue Perez. My video may be censored because we said the C word. I don't know. Because that happens. When you say the C word and you don't go with the narrative being told, they take your videos down and you get censored. Okay. I will not share anything personal that I know you wouldn't want shared. I care too much about our friendship. That's reassuring. Lizzie sent me a gift with a laughing fox. I must have said something funny. Theodore's here. He's a big fan. Fantastic. I found some LA apartments that were under $400. No way possible. No way possible. You're getting scammed. I can tell. I don't even have to know. You are getting scammed. You cannot even find a room to rent in LA for $400. Maybe outside of LA, an hour and a half, 2 hours away, maybe you could find a room to rent for $500. 2 hours outside of LA. Maybe $400 if it's in a dump. You're not finding apartments in LA for $400. You're getting scammed, whatever that is. I can say that with confidence. Okay, Miss Pink Cat had Indian food and it was superb. I like Indian food. Okay, let's see. You gotta be Sarah says you gotta be careful what areas you go to. You shouldn't try to be someone you're not, especially try to impress people who don't even care about you. Vios, you are so correct. I tried to do that in high school. It did not pay off, right? What's that saying about how we try to be something we're not to impress people we don't even like, buying things with money we don't have for things that are not going to make us happy. There's a whole quote on that. Okay, Beyond Video Maker is here. Conspiracy Guru has the best V memes. I'm not going to say the word. Seattle Green says, I haven't looked him up. Okay, sometimes in rough moments, I tend to feel hopeless about the future, and that the future is set in stone. It's not. The future is not set in stone. Your choices determine your future. Your choices and your prayers and your actions determine your future. You know, sometimes people come and they mess us up. People will throw us off guard. They'll put a wrench in our plans. They'll stop something from happening. And we think our future's all messed up because of what this person did. But nobody ultimately can mess with your destiny. And even if somebody does something that sets you back for 2 years or whatever, that doesn't even necessarily mess with your destiny. See, God saw this all ahead of time. And so it might have taken you 10 years of toil to reach a certain dream, and somebody comes and messes you up. Well, God could then speed it up and make it so it only takes you 8 years of toil. So it's still the same 10 years. 10 years of toil, or 8 years of toil and 2 years of mess up. You know, your future is not predetermined. It's determined on the choices we make every single day. What we say yes to, what we say no to, when we do our work, as opposed to when we decide to sleep in. Um, are we working on our goals each day, or are we going to get around to it? I have a friend, good friend, very smart person, but he had what he called a round to it button. It's like, when are you going to write that book? When are you going to? I'll get around to it. I'm going to get around to it. Every time, it's like, you're so smart. You've got so much wisdom and knowledge. He was a Jewish rabbi, he was a counselor, family counselor. I'd be like, oh, we need to see this book. We need to read your book. I'll get around to it. He never got around to it. Guys, what are you waiting for? This is your life. I have so many friends that have that same story. They're going to do it when they get around to it. Well, how about now? And if now's not a good time, how about now? The best time to do it is yesterday. But if yesterday's already over, then now's a good time. You can't wait. Okay. Do you believe in predestination? Benjamin, I don't even fully understand the concept of that. So I don't want to answer and steer people wrong. But if you're talking about it in the sense of God has already predestined those who are going to go to heaven and those who are not, then no, because it's a choice for us to live for God or not live for God, for us to follow him or not follow him, for us to live like God wants us to live or for us to live like the devil. That's a choice we get to make every day. So if that's what you mean by it, no, I don't believe in it that way. But if you mean it in a way of God has determined that Katherine would be in the entertainment industry, that she would be writing books and she would be acting, and I could see how that could have been maybe I don't know if it's predestined, but I could see how that would be my destiny, because God put a love of poetry in my heart from a very young age. But he put that love of writing in my dad's heart too. And my dad, my dad was having me memorize poems when I was a child. And so it goes back, like you'd have to think, well, how did my dad then get the love for writing? How did it get imparted to him and generations back in order for me to be who I am today, to be influenced by that? It's like a whole series of events. But we get to choose. The church I used to go to, that I went to for 17 years, my pastor used to say, we weren't God's first choice in starting this church. And he would tell us there was 2 other couples that God asked to start this church, and they both said no to God. We were God's third choice. But you know what? We said yes. And there's been so many times where I've been in movies and in films where I wasn't the first choice. And that doesn't hurt my feelings. The other person didn't work out. The other person said no. They couldn't get the other person. The other person was a nightmare on set and had to be fired. Whatever it is, I was the choice, but I said yes. So a lot of it is about saying yes. Oh, thank you, Karen. Karen sent me a little love gift, little donation. I appreciate it. So Dar's coming back in February. Emmy is saying it's not a fox. It's a dog breed called a Shiba Inu. Well, thank you for that. Now we know, but it looks like a fox. It's a cartoon. What can we say? It's an animation, but it's a Shiba Inu. Sarah, my friend, when she lived with me, she had a dog that was part wolf. I think it was like 12% wolf. Majestic, white-looking dog. Okay. And Adette says, leaving early today, have work to do. See you next Sunday. Fear mongering. Yes, Colin. Just because a place has a danger in it doesn't mean it doesn't also have good in it, for sure. Absolutely. There's good and bad everywhere, right? Even scripture says, where sin abounds, grace abounds more. That's what I was telling my parents when they were like, you can't move to LA. It's full of, you know, debauchery and people on drugs and rowdy party scenes and whatever. Lots of sin. I said, but remember, scripture says where sin abounds, grace abounds more. So God's just going to have to give me a lot more grace dealing with this place, the situation that I'm in. See, I just did a rhyme. I'm going to need a lot more grace living in this place. Do you have any advice on how to choose a positive role model? You know, see, always judge by their fruit. Never judge by what they say, never judge by what they believe, judge by what they do, and judge by results. So, would you ask a 300-pound person for weight loss advice? Probably not. Would you ask someone who's never started a company, what should I do to start my company? Probably not a good idea. Would you ask someone who's never acted before how to start an acting career? Start by choosing people who are already good at doing what you're doing. The thing about choosing a mentor, a role model, any of that, you don't want to choose someone who's like way above you, who's arrived, for a couple of reasons. Number one, they don't have time to talk to you because they're so busy being successful. And number two, they don't remember what it was like 20 years ago when they were struggling to get where they are now. So you want someone who's just a couple steps ahead of you. Like if you're wanting to move to LA and become an actor, ask someone who moved to LA last year to become an actor, because they'll go, okay, here's what you do. You go here, you sign up at LA Casting, you get your account there, you see, take a bunch of pictures of you in different costumes. Here's me in a police costume. Here's me in a doctor costume. Here's me in a psychologist, whatever, because that's the kind of thing they need for extras casting, you know, but you don't ask someone uber famous how to do something that they haven't had to think about for 30 years. They're not going to remember even the right path to go. All right, Angela's working on her first album. Ooh, good job, Angela. J.F. Atwell, another question. Does it ever appear to you when you observe some people, you can see they have a similar spiritual force like yours? Do you ever feel a chill when you speak to someone? There are times when it feels like someone is prophesying or saying something that's like straight from God, that you can get little goosebumps. Like, I don't know if I actually do or if it's like, ooh, that's God. Sometimes. Okay, it's 5 p.m. in the UK. It is almost 9 a.m. here. Do you know why the mom did not take back her husband at the end of the video where her Christmas presents were stolen? I'm trying to remember what video you're talking about. Oh, yeah, because he was cheating on her with his secretary. Easy peasy. I've loved acting since I was little, Blake says. Dazzler, I'm not sure what you're talking about. Shout out to this king. I don't know who the king is you're talking about. Oh, good luck on your exam tomorrow, Sri. Yep, she was 12%. Okay, so Sarah's dog was 12% Minnesota Timberwolf, and the rest was German Shepherd. Yeah, Scowie. She was very protective of Timothy. So when Timothy was a little bugger and wasn't walking yet, he was crawling around on the floor with his oxygen tank. Yeah, her wolf dog would be very protective of him. People came to the house and stuff. Lizzie says, Katherine is my positive role model. If it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be in the good place I am today and becoming more confident. Amen, Lizzie. We're all cheering for you. Angela says the same. She is really honey. Oh, yeah, Lizzie, I'm finding out, does songwriting too. She does a lot of really creating stuff. Benjamin asks, is it hard being famous? I feel like I'm the wrong person to ask. You should probably ask someone who's famous. um, I don't know. I don't know what it's like being famous. I don't have the paparazzi stalking me. I don't have people showing up. Okay, sometimes they take pictures of me in the grocery store, but not paparazzi. Just people who are fans of the show will ask, but they'll ask. So it's not like the stuff that comes with fame. I have not there yet. Hey, Current Jam. So, look, I think I caught up on all the questions. That's a first. All right. Blake says, I have a CD of Bible stories with a British narrator when I was little and I could repeat them word for word. I was born to be an actor. You should go for it. Have you tried it yet? Vias asks if I've heard of Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita Gadam. Oh, wait. Oh, that's a person. I thought you were talking about that famous like spiritual book, the Bhagavad Gita. I don't even know how to say it. My friend used to read it. I had this friend who was very, I don't want to say stuck up. She thought she was like better than everyone, smarter than everyone. And she would say things like, you don't know what you're talking about because I've read the Bhagavad Gita and only I know whatever. I don't even know what she was talking about. So, of course, she was much smarter because she read this ancient holy book that, I don't know, was supposed to make you better than everyone else. Oh, okay. I think I've met the person you're talking about. Was she the one that played the princess and the blonde girl didn't want her to play the princess in some play? I don't know if you're talking about her. The boys are doing great. Angela says, you're famous to us, Katherine. So we've got Retief Lubser. Forgive me if I butchered your name. What's the best thing you learned while working on Dhar Mann? The best thing I've learned. I'm trying to think if I've learned anything. I'm sure I have. Best thing I've learned. How to roll with the punches. Just how to, I feel like I kind of already knew how to do that. But even more so, when stuff doesn't happen right or somebody doesn't show up or the prop isn't right or you don't have this or, I had set that I was going to wear this outfit for this scene, but they already shot with a person wearing the same color. So now I can't wear the outfit I wanted to wear. I have to wear something I didn't want to wear because we can't have two people wearing the same color and the same whatever. So just how to just be like, okay, whatever. I'll wear this outfit that doesn't look as good on me. It's such a minor, silly thing I just brought up. It doesn't even matter, really. Let's see. Okay, Sheree told me it's the Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita. So you see why I thought it was that person's name you were saying? It's similar, sort of. Not really. Okay, it's similar. It's got a B and a G. Right. I've been in a lot of plays and musicals. I have a resume and a manager. Perfect. Where are you living now, Blake? Um, let's see. Can you follow me on Instagram? I have an acting manager, but I haven't booked a gig yet. Just give it time. Keep going out. Keep trying. Keep sharpening your skills. Keep taking classes. What is a character you'd want to play more on Dhar Mann? You know what? Somebody mentioned to me recently, they're like, man, back when Dhar Mann first started up, the first couple years, you got to play such a wide range of characters, homeless and rich and just a big range, dying and just I can't even name them all. And they said, it seems like now you're just stuck playing moms and Karens. I was like, yeah, I think you're right. It is what it is. I think their content is probably has a wider kid audience, so they want more kid stars. So it seems like they're not doing a lot with adult stars these days, unless they're like young, like um, Sarah, who's in her 20s, um, Chaz, and Carlos, and all those cats that are like in their 20s, early 30s. But I haven't seen a ton now in the last year where it's been the adult stars, like people over 30. I haven't seen a lot of that. So, okay. I believe I've met Melvin Ward. I don't think I've ever worked with him. I don't think I've ever had a scene with him, but I for sure met him. Blake lives in Florida. I thought there was acting opportunities in Florida. I love your homeless woman character, the woman with the two colored eyes outside of the restaurant. That's one of my favorite videos. I used to get a lot of comments on that one. What do you say about discrimination and stereotypes? Stereotypes and discriminate. Well, I don't think anyone should discriminate against anyone. That's why I love reading the Bible so much, because there wasn't, you know, when they talked about, the Old Testament, they talked about they talked about in the Old and New Testament, you treat your neighbors the way you would want to be treated. And it talked about, don't treat people from this foreign land as if they're not one of your own. And in the New Testament, they're saying, basically in the kingdom of God, there is neither um, Jew nor Greek, nor slave nor free, nor male nor female. We were all like one in God. So I think the Bible teaches us clearly how not to discriminate. And sometimes stereotypes they're just assumptions based on what is a typical thing. But everyone can break a stereotype. Everyone can break a mold. Um, yeah, I could give a lot of examples, but sometimes people assume things about you because of how you look or your upbringing or this or that. Like I think I've mentioned you guys before, where I would go places and people would assume I'm rich just based on what I look like, and I'm like, I'm like living in a trailer park, and we don't have money to put ketchup on our hot dogs, but apparently I look rich, things like that. You just never know. Or like assuming someone because they're from Mexico, assuming they're going to be Catholic. Well, a great number of population of people living in Mexico are Catholic. So not all stereotypes are meant to be mean and judgmental. Um, Sometimes stereotypes just for some reason help us compartmentalize and help us figure out, like when we go into a crowded busy place, it's like we try to look for people who are like us. When I'm in a crowd of people and everybody's speaking different languages, I'm going to go towards the people who are speaking English because I want to be around people I understand. So sometimes it's like a preservation, it's just a protection mechanism, and not all stereotyping is totally like mean and discriminatory and all that kind of stuff. So Sarah says, give the boys a hug from me. I will do that. Thank you, JF Atwell, for saying that I'm powerful. I'm over my time. I usually go an hour every Sunday, and it's been over an hour. Can you tell me, was there any glitches? Was this any different than when I go live on my phone doing this on the computer? Was there any problems with the live stream? Can you guys tell me, or did it run just as smoothly as when I do it on my phone? Anyone can tell me. Yes, Michael Vaccaro has never played a good guy. He plays mean stereotype. Okay, no rules. Thank you, Elena. I'm going to call it quits because I got to get my boys ready for church and eat some breakfast. So you guys have a beautiful, blessed day. I have a new video coming out tomorrow, 8 a.m. I have a short coming out Wednesday, 8 a.m. Friday, I'm hoping to have a vlog you guys have been asking for, a personal family vlog. Pray that the editor gets it done this week. Otherwise, it'll be part 4 of the podcast with D Teflon. But I'm praying You guys pray that we get that done. And Brittany, hope you're better. Hope you're better. Be blessed. Bye.